Hey guys, it's Audio D,
And the B.
and we're talking about the EA press conference at E3, which is always hard to fucking say. You accidentally call EA E3 all goddamn day, and vice versa.
EA E3, E3AA.
I was like, oh man, I was watching the EA today. Yeah, E3 had some interesting games. Actually, they didn't. They had one game that was really cool, and the rest of it was
One and a half.
1.5 cool games, and I actually fell asleep during the conference. I was in the middle of a fucking Facebook group chat about E3, and I passed out. So let's talk about what they had. Mad in Moonlight is what my notes say, and that's because the dad from Moonlight also plays the dad in this new, a new football game where you start out life as a young boy and then grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What's his name? I can't remember his name. I remember it's really hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
But the dad from there, Remy from House of Cards, is your dad.
Good ass actor.
He's an amazing actor, and it's really cool that they got him. Hell, got his likeness because now because of Moonlight, I think people are gonna recognize him as a dad figure, and I think that's gonna help that game spectacularly. However, I don't care about sports games. I'm of the thought process of I can just go outside and do that shit. And I know that the whole thing is like, it's a fantasy. I get it. Like you'll probably never be a sports star and play in like the Super Bowl or the Magic Cup was what I was gonna say by accident, or the big game, and that's the fantasy part.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, the competitive aspect of it online, where they were showing like guys getting cups and fucking and championship belts for winning online soccer competitions. I was like, go outside and play soccer for real.
The Mega Plate.
Yeah, is that tennis? Tennis is the Mega Plate.
The Hyper Cup.
Hyper Cup, Mega Plate.
Super Bowl, Hyper
Super
Cup,
Bowl.
Mega
Oh
Plate.
my God, they're all containers.
Yeah.
They're all food.
No one really has plates.
Tennis.
Oh, tennis has plates?
You get a big old plate for tennis.
I don't understand the scoring in tennis. Why does it go like 10, like 20,
I think it's 15.
and then,
It's like 10, I think, or 5, something. And then 40. It just skips.
yeah,
It skips 20.
There's a big number skip there between the second and third like score, and I don't get it.
And then love happens. Like, what the fuck is that?
Tennis aficionados, please explain the scoring system.
Please
of
explain tennis. Thanks.
Thank you.
But, so we got, like, that Madden game. I think all three of their main games, which is basketball, football, and soccer, are following it's a story mode now where you start off as from nothing and you grow up and you do the thing and you get into the game.
Although Madden looks like it's doing it the best.
I guess. I still think
it
that...
at least looks the most intriguing.
I still like the basketball one more because it's you.
Yeah, but that
It's not just a random already made character. I like that aspect of you are playing in your dream, as opposed to I'm playing this one game. You know, I'm playing as a character.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's why people like Skyrim as opposed to like, you know.
And that's fine, but for the like approach that they're trying to go for, it's easier to write a cohesive story when you don't have to worry about the player trying to force their own personality on a character. When your character has an established personality,
That's true, but I mean, if you are
it's easier to create a story for that.
if you have a decent personality, or like I know one of your friends would probably play the game in a very like heelish way, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
He'd try to be a bad guy, he'd try to be a bad boy, and you could probably play it like that, or you can choose to play it like Mass Effect, where you could get the Renegade. You can play as Renegade or a Paragon.
Renegade for life.
I mean, you could still probably do that because it's basically a character that's created and you get to play them. But you know, who knows? Another like aspect of the you get to play thing is I think in the soccer game they were trying to bring that up and it was fucking weird because they didn't. The commercial they ran for it looked like it was a commercial for an actual soccer player, which is clever. But I was lost, and I was like, who gives a shit about this, the cover star of your soccer game? And I thought it was a real dude, and it put me off of the game. Even though I think that's the opposite reaction they want. And then the whole,
Of course it is.
people on Twitter were saying, like, oh, they're going to talk about soccer all day because it's the most internationally appealing sport. Therefore, they're going to make the most money with this game. But if people are going to buy the game already, why do you need to promote it to people who aren't? I get that you're trying to win people over by sending out a soccer player out there last time without a fucking translator or subtitles who you could barely understand and let him talk for an hour about how great soccer is. Or you bring these two fucking losers and blazers out who can't even give each other a high five. Did you see that they missed the high five?
Mm-hmm.
They can't even give each other a high five talking about how great soccer is for half an hour. We fucking get it. We don't care. Move on.
What has me lost about it is, like, presumably they're trying to sell, by promoting it this way, by promoting it in the first place at the E3 showcase, they're presumably trying to convince people who either played their older games but then fell off for a couple years, or they're trying to bring in people who've never played one of their FIFA games before. Because the people who buy their stuff annually, they don't need to sell to.
Yeah.
So, why then, at that point, did they make the trailer talking about this Alex Hunter character that they make as your player character in the game?
Yeah.
Why did they make it so goddamn confusing for people who don't already know soccer to know that that is a fictional character?
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know who they were marketing, and I think I wrote that in my notes. Like, I don't know who they're marketing this game to. Oh yeah, and also they showed us. They had like which game was it where they had the live people talking about how great the game was? Was that Battlefield? Yes, I think it was Battlefield. Where it's my notes. Like they had like Let's Players showing us a bunch of Let's Plays from Twitch.
Yeah.
Of people going, "This game is so good." You don't. If I don't know those people already, that's not going to sell the game to me. Which I don't, and I'm not sold based on their testimonials. I don't give a shit about these randos at all. Because you could pay anybody to say anything. I want to see the game, and I want you to tell me what's new about the game, and what makes this game better than, let's say, another war game. What's cool about this game?
As a person who watches a bunch of different Let's Play channels on, like, YouTube, I have to say that, like, nothing makes me feel more out of the loop when it comes to the Let's Playing community than seeing an entire montage of Let's Players who I have no idea who they are.
Yeah. And especially for somebody who, like, I don't follow a bunch of Let's Players, but I follow, like, other, like, gaming commentary, people who do commentary on gaming, like, games journalists, you know, like, Angry Joe is not there, I don't think, because he was tweeting. Fucking Jim Sterling is not even covering the E3 conference. So, like, even the game journalists aren't even fucking promoting or talking about this game or at the convention. There was one guy named fucking Jesse who I don't want to ever see again. But apparently, somebody on my Twitter feed did know who he is and was like, "Oh shit, it's that guy." And it's like, I'm glad somebody knows who that guy is because the amount of audience that you are trying to get with using a Let's Player is so small that it's not even worth it.
Unless you're gonna go for the really fucking big ones and bring in like Pewds and Markiplier and all the really big world-known ones, there's no point.
Yeah, why would you get them? You might as well have just gotten us. We have like average.
We have a dozen subscribers.
Yeah, our average viewer base is 3, and I think one of them is us. You know, trying to make sure that the video works okay.
Yeah.
So like that's how much those Let's Players helped the promotion of that game. I was more annoyed by those people than anything else. I wasn't like, "Oh, this is so cool. Look at those guys having fun," which is I'm sure what their press conference or their like meetings and graphs show them. Like, let's show other kids in their age bracket having fun. That'll make them enjoy the game. It didn't. I just want you to have, at the age that I am, because I think I'm getting too old for this shit.
The one guy seemed really endearing. The one dude at the end of the montage with the big beard who was like, "I might as well quit playing because I'll never do anything more cool than what I just did." That guy was kind of endearing. I kind of liked him. At
least have somebody with personality, not just have a bunch of Let's Players going, "Oh!" A bunch. Like, who gives a shit?
I've never been a fan of the yelling and screaming, like, style of Let's Playing.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that, because it's like, it's a shit substitute for actual commentary.
Yeah. And not commentary like we saw later, which was dreadful, and I think that's what put me to sleep. But the like, I think that I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm too old to be pandered to. I at this point prefer a dude in a suit on a stage explaining to me what makes this game new and different and fresh. Showing me the footage, showing me the gameplay, and then getting the fuck off the stage and moving on to the next game. I do not need these soliloquies of how, "Let me tell you about the world's game and how beautiful it is." Who gives a shit? Tell me what makes this game different than the last one you put out. That was exactly the same. You can't? Okay. That's what it seems like.
Not to mention, it's like, I feel like I'm cynical for saying this, but like, because it's a guy who works in the game industry. But I feel like it's just something I feel in my soul, I guess. That when a guy who's a representative for the company is on stage telling us about how great gaming is, it feels less believable than if I was to see someone who I genuinely feel like I know to some degree, even if it's not personally, who has a passion for this kind of stuff out there doing the same thing. Like the guy who's a representative for this for EA, going on that spiel doesn't really. It's hard to believe that he's really doing that, and he's not just buttering up the audience to try and make money. But if you had, say, Gerard Dragon Rider Khalil in the exact same spot making the exact same speech, I would absolutely 100% believe everything he's fucking saying.
Yeah, because he's not. He's not a paid person. Like if the thing is also they did that with that Jesse guy, right? They got a guy on there that wasn't. He was probably paid. Let's be real. He was probably paid with the company and furnished with a hotel and all that shit.
Yeah.
But if you had somebody tell me that this game is great and was believable, because that Jesse guy was trying his damnedest to read a teleprompter and was failing at it, which is why I was like, oh god, I don't want to ever see this guy again.
Maybe he was going too fast for him, or maybe it was full of typos. I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
But for the most part, I would just go, here's the bullet points, go out there and speak from the heart about my game.
Yeah.
If you genuinely like it. And I think that would do, and the reason why Gerard works is because when he
Sincerity.
when Gerard does brand deals, he only takes brand deals he believes in and like he actually enjoys.
At least that's what he tells us.
That's what he tells us, but he definitely comes off like he believes in them. Jesse looking at a teleprompter and going, I like EA games and driving cars. Cars are good because he's like a fucking 11-year-old reading a book report. It was the worst.
Like a robot.
Yeah. It felt I felt pandered to, and it's like I don't need these fucking like I said, I prefer the corporate guy, but I don't need the corporate guy to tell me how great gaming is.
Yeah.
We don't need to fucking butter my ass. Just explain to me this game.
Just sell your product to me. You don't have to sell the concept. You don't have to sell your product to me, but without bells and whistles. Just give me straight out information of what this is and why it's better than your competitor.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting old because that's what I enjoy. Like, remember those old commercials like that are straightforward and like Ovaltine, it's chocolate fucking milk. You know, like
yeah, it's chocolate milk with protein. Drink it. It's good.
And then people are like, "Oh, commercials are so lame," so they try to spice them up and make them more like NFL Super Bowl commercials, where it's like, you know, people are riding horses, and then they try to be extreme like the Old Spice commercials, and like
because the Old Spice commercials caught on, and they didn't understand the fact that even though the Old Spice commercials had an element of low random to them, there was a kind of like a nuance in the way that it flew, the way that everything flowed through the commercials and how the transitions worked. There was actual really good effective special effects work there that and a tantalizing script that was given to that actor.
I'm making a note of the timestamp of this because I want you to add an annotation here to the how it was done Old Spice commercial. Like the behind the scenes, like how they did one of those Old Spice commercials we saw was like it was intense. There was a lot.
The Old Spice commercials are genuinely funny and genuinely interesting because of how they're done. There's a certain like as weird as it is, like the low random humor. There's like it can be funny if you give it a certain kind of nuance, which is hard to almost even put your finger on. But a lot of companies don't bother with that, and they seem like they just take the shortcut road when it comes to advertising. They
just go, low random works, let's do low random. Because look at the fucking, I think it was Mountain Dew Head Start commercials, where like, they're using Turn Down for What rip-off songs, and like having random people dance with like a taxidermy deer starts dancing, and it's like, what is this supposed to be funny?
Like everything, like let's use that original Old Spice commercial. Like everything in it was low random, but it was low random within a certain theming. Everything he was doing was meant to be seductive.
Yeah.
It wasn't a matter of like, oh, and then a fucking rhinoceros burst through the wall. Because that doesn't fit the theming. The theming is seduction. He's trying to seduce.
And everything he was doing was absurd. It wasn't just...
absurd, but seductive.
It wasn't just lull random for the sake of lull randomness. So yeah. I got those. And then you had Terry Crews. His whole thing was he's being extreme. In those commercials, you don't want to be seduced by Terry Crews. The theme is extreme.
Yeah.
So you have the theme, and then you try to work around it instead of going, oh, fuck, what do kids like? Turn Down for What is really popular. All right, just do that again. Who cares? They don't sell the product. Just put the can on screen. And that's how I felt a lot of this time here. Also, the way they dress even sometimes bothers the fuck out of me. Like, they'll come out, and they'll try to be hip with the way they're dressed, and it's like, dude, you're 40. Let's just let it go. Just put on your fucking khakis and come out and tell me about the game. I don't care about you. I don't care about how hip you are. I don't care about how many memes you could spout off.
We're sick of shit being fake, basically.
Yeah. Stop being fake. Just explain the game. Tell me you're selling me something and get the fuck out of here. Because these press conferences should not be this long. No. I'd like to go about my fucking day. Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to...
Let's move on to the actual press conference rather than our rant.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle.
let's move on to Battlefield. The Battlefield DLC is something that got us excited.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the Russian front, the nighttime fighting. All that stuff looked cool as hell.
It did.
And the gameplay they showed us later was really cool. Like I said, I didn't really care for the commentary over it, because gaming commentary is the most dry shit in the world.
Yeah.
But...
say us, the Let's Play channel.
Well, I mean, do we still do that? I don't know. We might just come on here just occasionally to just give our E3 thoughts and then fuck off for a year. At this point.
Who knows?
But yeah, it's
scheduling, man. It's not always the easiest thing to do.
And
especially when you don't do YouTube as a profession.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube, fucking kudos to those who do, because you're able to put aside the schedule to do so.
I would care more about it if I could care more about it, but I don't. But anyway, the night maps and Russia sounds awesome. It sounds really cool. I like that this is DLC. Did they mention a price point or no?
No.
That usually is what makes or breaks the game for me. Because if you're gonna sell DLC for like Dragonborn prices, the Dragonborn DLC prices, it better have a shit ton of content.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game looks cool. The DLC looks badass. I'm excited for it. Battlefield 1 looks dope as hell.
I still wish they would let you make custom deathmatch lobbies where you can choose what weapons are and are not disabled.
So you can
that way you can turn on only the shittiest of the weapons, and then everyone is stuck with that.
Or slaps only. But I think zombies were confirmed for this too, or was that for Call of Duty? That's Call of Duty.
That's Call of Duty.
Okay. But yeah, Battle Faps is what I was gonna say. God damn it. Then they moved on to Need for Speed, which at first I was like, who cares? Because you had a guy on there going, let me tell you about car culture, and I was like, checking out.
Car culture.
Yeah, my brain turned off immediately. But then you got to see the gameplay and see that the game is not just street racing anymore. It's progressed the way the Fast and Furious series progressed.
It's Fast and the Furious.
Now it's Fast and Furious, and I'm kind of intrigued. Am I right? Is it a first day purchase? Probably not. But if I see it on a free download for like PlayStation Plus, I'm gonna probably pick it up.
Yeah, it's something I'd consider getting someday if I can get it on the cheap.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because I'm not a racing guy.
No, I only like my favorite racing game is Burnout, and that game doesn't exist anymore apparently. So I don't care about racing games. And I'm not part of car culture. But it did.
Also Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, yeah, you use weapons. And this game had a lot of crashing into cars and making cars crash on purpose, so it reminded me a lot of Burnout, so I'm intrigued.
Give me my goddamn road rash back.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. It's been how many years since they've... Like, someone started with, like, a Kickstarter or something to make a new road rash game. I don't know. I've heard no updates on this.
Yeah, that's right, I remember.
But it looked so goddamn cool. I just want to be able to murder someone while I'm riding a motorcycle, goddammit.
With a chain. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to whip someone in the face with a chain.
Yeah.
Riding a motorcycle.
That's what we all want.
At like 100 and... What's a fast miles per hour? I don't know.
180?
We do kilometers.
Kilometers are for babies.
110.
Yeah.
180. 200 miles per hour.
That's too fast.
Nope. It's just fast enough to whip someone in the head with a chain.
I mean, yes. But you can whip them with a chain at 0 miles per hour and it'll still be effective.
Yep. You need to have cops on the side of the road trying to pull you over, and then you just kick them.
I do believe we did Road Rash on the channel, right?
Just kick them into oncoming traffic. We might have, we might not have. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Let's move on to when I mentioned Jesse already, so I can move on. Oh, they also said you can take junker cars you find in like the wilderness and turn them into super souped up cars. That's pretty cool.
You can take classic cars that no one would normally consider as a racing vehicle, and then turn them into racing vehicles.
But they also show one in the middle of a field.
One of the ones they demonstrated was a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, that was the one that was in the middle of the field, and like you found that random car, and you transformed it back to glory. And yeah, they made a supercar out of a Beetle.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I like that aspect of it. And then they came back from that and said, it plays as good as it looks, which made me go, okay, that was pre-rendered content. That wasn't gameplay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like, if you had to tell me that, I'm immediately suspicious. They
later showed off gameplay, which still looked good.
Yeah, it did. But don't use those words. That's language you want to cut out of your presentation. If you see that on a teleprompter, you just ignore that shit.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as... It's immediately suspicious.
Yeah. A Way Out looks great. A Way Out is the game that's It's the game where like you and a friend can play co-op, and it's co-op only, and you can play with them online, and you are pretty much playing a different game sort of than the other person, because it's something. Such a new, crazy, cool concept that I am the most. This is the game that I'm most intrigued by the whole presentation. Not sure if that's a day one buy though.
A way out.
Yeah.
I was distracted there for a second. The story seems really simple, but like I like where they're going with it.
Yeah. Me too.
The story of the two jail guys who, break out of jail.
Together. But not together.
And the one guy wants revenge on the guy who put him there or something. And then the other guy is just like, yeah, I deserve to be locked up, but I'll help you get revenge if you get me out of here. Yeah,
so it's like Prison Break plus like... It looks like what Road to Hell was meant to be. Like, you get to escape and you get to ride around the fucking... Yeah. The wasteland and beat people up.
I like that split-screen co-op, whether you're local or you're online. That's interesting.
It's interesting because, like, sometimes you have to watch the other player's screen to see what he's doing, so you can have, like... There was a scene where one guy was beating somebody up in a laundry room, so you pretty much did... If you went in there, you'd probably draw attention to him. So you wanted to, like, stay away. So you needed to see what he was doing in order to not draw attention to him, and that was really cool.
Yeah, and there was also, like... The one character was in a cutscene, but you could see the other character walking around in the background of the cutscene because the other player could still move their character, whereas the one player was in a cutscene.
Yeah, I love that. That was cool. Like, there's so many cool little tidbits of this game that I'm definitely intrigued by. So that's a okay, I'll see how this unfolds down the road. Because a lot of games at E3, they soup up and they make them look like the best game since fucking sliced bread, and then either they get delayed or not released at all, like that cool game when you ride a dragon and you're friends with a dragon.
I'm so mad about that.
Or like Kingdom Hearts 3 that never fucking comes out. So
Kingdom Hearts 3 will never come out.
Neither will Final Fantasy 7, the remastered one.
Maybe not.
Because they keep going, oh yeah, it's coming in like 10 years. I say, all right,
Kingdom Hearts is the new Duke Nukem Forever.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
So I'm trying not to get super hype about these games anymore, but I am more hype about them than I have been for years, so that's good. Let's see what else I have here. Oh, Star Wars Battlefront. The new one is pretty much a prequel to The Force Awakens. There's a class system, and it's gonna have a story mode because people bitched about that last time. That last time they just released a bare bones multiplayer
including
game.
John Boyega.
Yeah, because John Boyega's like, hey man, what the fuck? We want to branch our story. The thing is, because when you come out with Battlefront games, people don't usually play the story. They jump right into online. So they were like, let's cut some of our time on our developers by just releasing that. But you don't understand that Star Wars fans, like, thrive on story.
Plus you need something for the people who have offline.
Yeah.
So you need something for the people who, like, either who have their internet disconnected for whatever reason, can't afford the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
For that month or year or whatever it may be. Or at all. God
or
forbid.
People in the military who can't access it.
Or for when the console dies and the servers get shut down.
Yeah.
You don't want your game to suddenly be completely useless because it's only online.
Yeah, I'm super furious about a lot of like servers shutting down and making the consoles bricks that you spend like $200-$300 on these consoles, and now they're a brick because the servers are shut down.
Everything is online.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a class system also, so you can play as droids. There's different troopers, like heavy troopers.
I love the droids. So
rocket troopers, and like people are going, we're nuts for Boba Fett, but I'm like, you could just be a rocket trooper. Who cares? That's just me.
Boba's better.
I tried desperately to care about the Star Wars Battlefront game. I think it looks way cooler than the first one.
It does look
but I'm not really in the Star Wars fandom. I watch Star Wars movies in order to not like fall behind in the zeitgeist of pop culture. And there are some things I like about it, but I'm not into it. Like, I haven't read all the fucking Expanded Universe books, so a lot of that shit was like, I didn't understand a lot of it. I was like, what the fuck is that tank? I've never seen that before. And he's like, oh, Expanded Universe. Okay. They're making a big deal about this V-Wing. What the fuck is that? Oh, yeah, Expanded Universe. Oh, what the fuck is this? Expanded Universe. And it's like, fuck. If I needed to like, take a fucking college course to be a fan of Star Wars, no thanks. A lot of it went over my head, and I was like, I don't have the patience to like care about this. That's not the wiki I read at night. I'm too busy reading the Lord of the Rings wikis to turn off that and go, okay, I'm gonna read the Star Wars one now. Lord of the Rings is fucking dense. But yeah, it looks good for people who enjoy it, and that you can't say a game looks bad anymore. Games don't look bad anymore. I think that's a talk point we can stop saying that the graphics look good.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you still get one that looks like shit.
Oh yeah, but that's when we bring it up because games. I think the standard is damn good.
The standard nowadays is it looks good.
Yeah, because we're used to PlayStation 1. Like kids today won't know what a bad looking game is. Like you want to see a bad looking game, boot up Tekken 2 right now. You will probably barf. I could not physically play Bloody Roar 2. I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't look at this no more. And I had to just go, no, we're not doing this. But yeah, games used to look like shit, and now all of them look good. So a person going, ugh, this isn't in 1080p. Please go back and play Bloody Roar 2, or Tekken 2, or Virtua Fighter 1. Please go back and do that. If you think that game graphics are bad because they're not in 1080p. Or what is it like? It's more than that now. Like it's like 4,000, I think is now. I don't know. I'm old. I'm old fuddy duddy. I don't understand shit. But yeah.
But the Star Wars Battlefront 2 looks a hell of a lot more polished than that first one does.
The first one looks like an experiment, honestly.
Yeah.
That they made you pay $60 for.
How little can we put in the game and get away with it?
And they did, because Star Wars fans will buy anything with Star Wars on it.
Yeah.
So they got y'all. Y'all were duped. But this time.
Fun.
And then they did raise a stink, and they got this they're like, we will not be fooled again. Fool us once, shame on you.
Like Star Wars Battlefront 1 still looked fun, it just looked shallow.
Yeah, like there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
And I really, a game is really cool when you see a bunch of gifts for it for the first week, and then you don't see any more gifts from that game again.
Yeah.
Like the second week, those gifts go away, and you're like, oh, I see. The game had no living power. Like Overwatch, I will still see gifs and videos of Overwatch, like highlights to this day. And Overwatch came out, a year ago? They had the year anniversary. Yeah. But For Honor, no more gifts. I seen gifts for like 2 days for Honor. For Battlefield, I seen gifts for a week. Yeah, and I still see fucking highlights and stuff from GTA 5 online. I still see that shit. So yeah, I think how much highlights and stuff you see people actually still playing those games determine the liveliness and longevity of those games. And if a game stays alive long enough to be cheap, like I could buy Battlefront Star Wars tomorrow probably because it's so cheap. But what's the point? The online is dead. Yeah, that's it though. They said that there's free DLC. I think forever for Star Wars Battlefront is what
That's what they implied. But
yeah, I saw some tweets saying that's what they gathered from it. Yeah,
I doubt it, considering microtransactions were kind of a thing in like most of these games. I think
microtransactions are going to take everybody over a barrel. They're going to absolutely Jane Jetson your wallet. Yeah. About all this goddamn.
And it fucking sucks, man.
Because they're giving you free DLC. It sucks, and I get that the games are expensive to make, and all this content and stuff is hard to uphold. But don't do this. People paid $60 already.
It's not an excuse.
No, because you have to pay fucking $400 for the console. Then you have to pay $60 for the game, the full game, and then you have to drop another fucking either $30 for the season pass.
And sometimes you have to pay for DLC separate.
Yeah, and then you have to pay for online for fucking PlayStation Plus or like Xbox Plus. I don't know, and then soon Nintendo.
And sometimes the microtransactions are really fucking bad because you get shit like For Honor where if you don't buy specific stuff, you're just going to lose every time.
Yeah, because the For Honor fucking DLC, some of the stuff the armor and weapons are better than everybody else's. Like, the stats are better.
The servers of For Honor right now are fucking barren, with the exception of the people who bought all of that stuff.
Yeah, because they can't stand up to the people who pay all the money. It's pay to win. And it's annoying. So we'll see. Well, hopefully Battlefront won't become those guys. They won't go down that rabbit hole. We can only hope.
Yeah.
But that was it. I think I fell asleep during the commentary for
football.
It was football?
It was football. They were talking about the story mode, which I thought was interesting enough that it made me actually consider getting a Madden game, which is the first time I've ever thought that.
I like Madden games. I don't remember seeing any footage of Madden game. I remember specifically falling asleep during the gameplay of Battlefront. And waking up during more gameplay of Battlefront. I don't remember football happening at all. I think I got slept through all of football.
You might have.
Good times. And I like football. Football is actually a sport I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's sorry we weren't more rosy about the E3 coverage, but man, it was a chore to sit through.
I don't like that they start with EA. I really, really don't.
No, it puts a bad taste in your mouth for the rest of the show. It's like if you go to a concert and the fucking opening band stinks up the fucking joint. Does Van Halen want to come off stage after that? Probably not.
It's like, yeah, you don't want to start with your biggest guys, but like at the same time, nobody. It's a game. It's a game conference. It's a video game conference. You don't want to start it off with sports.
Yeah, because the people who are interested in sports are watching sports Saturday. Yeah, but yeah, sorry about being sour about the E3 thing, and I also think that we're not too in the high spirits because of the passing of Adam West. I think that also bums us out.
Yeah.
So we're probably bummed out about that and grouchy.
Super bummed about that.
But yeah, maybe tomorrow will be better because tomorrow is Microsoft and Bethesda.
Have another good cry about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But Bethesda is gonna at least say nothing about Elder Scrolls. They might be doing a space Elder Scrolls, like a Elder Scrolls type game in space.
I hope so.
They did patent or copyright a name that was like
sci-fi.
Sci-fi, yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Mass Effect Bethesda.
Yeah.
Especially after Mass Effect done fucked up early.
We've seen like snippets of it in like the Mothership Zeta like Fallout 3 DLC of what a Bethesda game would kind of be like in space.
I love that Mothership Zeta. That was so fun.
Just a small taste of it. So, I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too.
They might not even use the same kind of gameplay as, their Fallout.
I'm going to openly say that I am a fucking fangirl for Bethesda, so I'm excited to see what happens with them.
That said, they still fuck up sometimes.
Oh, they all the time. Absolutely. I'm not going to say that they are perfect. I'm a fangirl, but that doesn't mean they're fucking infallible.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fangirl, I want more from them. I want them to do better. Yeah. I don't want them to release a glitchy game and then shrug and go, you guys will fix it with mods. It's fine. I don't want that.
Yeah. And we, as much as we find him endearing, Todd Howard is full of shit sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
See, we're not saying that on the Bethesda coverage because we don't want to get too many downvotes on that.
Yeah.
We love Bethesda though.
We do.
We're looking forward to their showcase tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Microsoft can do to try to win us back. Because I've been lost. Microsoft has lost me for the past since they announced the Xbox One. I've been down on Microsoft. Let's see if they can pull me back in. Did they even release that fucking new Gears of War game? That's a fucking survival horror.
Maybe, I don't know.
I've heard nothing about that game. Couldn't tell you if it came out. You see what I mean? Like, Microsoft's not doing a very good job.
You're falling off the face of the fucking earth.
Yeah. And I love that their games are like, these are Xbox exclusives. Also on Windows 10. Like, you can't do that.
No. That's not what exclusive means.
Yeah. If I don't own an Xbox One and I can play this on my Windows computer, that's not exclusive. No matter what you think, it's not.
Yeah, your console is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Your console is not needed.
Yeah, just release the games as PC games. So get rid of that console. We only need PlayStation and Nintendo at this point. PC is killing it by itself. Steam is cleaning up. But yeah, that's it. We're running long on this. I hope you guys are excited to hear our coverage of tomorrow, EA, Bethesda, and Microsoft. Thanks for listening.
Toodaloo.